Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. As today is the appearance day of Srila Gadadhara Pandita Goswami, I'm going to sing one kirtan composed by Srila Bhakti Tirthakara in praise of Gadadhara, although it may not seem like it. I'll just sing and afterwards I'll speak. So this will be in the morning tune. It's a morning aarti. Bhale Gaura God. No, I'm singing another tune. Bhale Gaura Gadadhare Aroti Nehari Nadia Puraba Bhave Jau Balihari Kalpataru Tale Ratna Singha Shanopari Shabu Shaki Beshtita Kishora Kishori Purata Jarita Koto Mani Gajamati Chamaki Chamaki Labhe Pratiyanga Jyoti Nila Nirada Lagi Vidutamala Duhanga Mili Shobha Bhuvana Ujala Shankha Baje Ghanta Baje Baje Karotal Madhura Mridanga Baje Paramarasal Vishakha Dishaki Brinda Duhu Guna Gawe Priya Narma Shaki Gana Chamara Dulawe Ananga Manjari Chua Chandana Deva Ananga Manjari Chua Chandana Deva Malatira Mala Rupa Manjari Lagawe Pancha Pradipe Dhari Karpura Bhati Lalita Shundari Kare Jugalara Roti Devi Lakhi Shruti Gana Dharani Lotae Gopi Jana Adhikara Rauto Gawaye Bhakati Binodarahi Shurabhiki Kunje Arati Darashane Prema Shuka Bhunje Bhale Gaura Gadadhare Arati Nehari Nadia Puraba Bhave Jao Balihari. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurinmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Shreshtam Manamapi Satchi Putram Atra Surupram Rupam Tasyagrajam Urupuring Maturim Goshtavatim Radha Kundam Girivaramaho Radhika Madhavasham Prapto Yasya Pratita Kripaya Shri Gurum Tam Datosmi Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Ataf Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. The last few days I've been speaking about the terrible cult of Shakti. And today on the anniversary of the appearance of Srila Gadadhara Pandit, I'll speak about the beautiful cult of Shakti. At the other end of the spectrum, the Urdhvamula Madashakam Ashvatam Praharavayam. The bottom of the tree is the top, and vice versa. The material world is a reflection of the spiritual world. So what is the highest in the spiritual world is the lowest in the material world, and vice versa. So the desire to enjoy this material world in the grossest forms, which actually, it's not the lowest thing, the worship of Shakti Tattva. It's actually very advanced compared to anything outside of Vedic culture. But if you say that human society actually begins with Varnashram society, then the Shakti cult at its ghastly levels is the lowest in human society. And the worship of Sri Radha is the highest. Radha comes in Chaitanya Leela as Gadadhara. She's Vishuddha Shakti Tattva. She's actually Shakti. Radha is actually Shakti Tattva. Radha Purna Shakti. Krishna Purna Shaktiman. Krishna is the fully powerful, but who's the full power? That is Radha. And other emanations. Parasya Shakti Vividhaiva Shruyate Swabhaviki Jnana Bala Kriyacha. There's all the various energies of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They're known by different names, but they're all emanations from Radha. She is the Shakti of Krishna, Antaranga Shakti, internal potency. She comes as Gadadhara, who is very dear to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. All his associates are very dear, but especially Gadadhara is mentioned. Always considered like that, because with others, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu may sometimes quarrel with them or chastise. He does with Gadadhara also, but he can't maintain that. The general mood of Gadadhara is very, very sweet, as befitting that of Radha. But she's not obstreperous and boisterous as is Radha, because she gave herself. She let Krishna take her, but Krishna took her dakshin swabhav. Sorry, he took her bhama swabhav, her feisty nature, and she's left with the sweetness. So nachare nachare nitai gora dvija marnaya bame priya Gadadhara. This is described in all the depictions of the Pancha Tattva. We have Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the middle, Nityananda exactly to the right, and to the left Priya Gadadhara, very dear. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur composed this song, which I just wrote, or rather we could say it manifested from his heart. It wasn't, not exactly that the Vaishnav poets, they sit down and think, let me write a song, but it manifests from their heart and from his vision. Bhaktivinoda Thakur is worshipping Gaur Gadadhara. You can see at Swananda Sukhada Kunja, the same Gaur Gadadhara who Bhaktivinoda Thakur personally worshipped there in Godrum. So he sings the aarti of Gaur Gadadhara. He says, I'm seeing the aarti of Gaur and Gadadhara. How wonderful, how beautiful, how magnificent is that. And here in Nadia is going on the same thing that was going on previously in Vrindavan. That same song I said, that Nachare Nacha, Shri Vrindavan, A Nadia. That Vrindavan has appeared here in Nadia, in Navadvip. So many of the Padakartas, those who sung songs about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes, they recognize it's Krishna Leela is going on in a different way. The same Krishna Leela in Vrindavan, the same personalities are present, is going on here in Nadia, Navadvip. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur then goes on to describe the aarti of Radha and Krishna. But he's offering the aarti to Gaur Gadadhara and seeing this is Radha, Krishna. So he describes that, how Radha and Krishna are sitting on a jeweled throne at the base of a kalpataru, a wish-fulfilling tree, and surrounded this beautiful young boy and girl are surrounded by all the female friends of Radha, and they're decorated with an appearance with their all kinds of jewels, golden ornaments, pearls, glittering, and decorating all their bodies, the bodies of Radha and Krishna, which are anyway self-effulgent. It's just like a set of streaks of lightning have come against a dark-blued rain cloud. That's the description of Radha and Krishna. Such beauty, the divine couple, their bodies are by such beauty, they're making the whole material world brilliant, lighting up the whole world. So, Shankha Bhaje Ghanta, you're familiar with this. The conches blow, the gongs are struck, the karatals are played, and the mridanga is played most sweetly. All the Sakhis, the gopis headed by Vishakhas, sing the glories of the divine couple, and especially the Priyanarama Sakhigan, they're very intimate. They have the service of whisking with the chamar, the yak tail whisk. Ananga Manjari, the younger sister of Sri Radha, she applies chua and chandan, sandalwood and something called chua, which is often mentioned. I got some once from Puri, but it didn't seem to be the right thing, some black liquid. And so she applies that. And Rupa Manjari, she gives the garlands, she gives the flower garlands of, specifically mentioned here, Malati flowers. Lalita Sundari, she is offering the aarti with the 5 lamps, the 5 wicked lamp, and the dish with camphor on it. And in this way, she offers aarti to the divine couple. Devi, who we've been talking a lot about in the last few days. Devi, Aman, Durga, Lakhi, Lakshmi, and all the all the Shrutis who are all busy talking about the Trigun, the 3 modes of material nature, or the Upanishads. They're talking about Brahman, what is it not, and this and that. But they just got knocked out seeing this, and they're rolling on the ground. They forgot all their talks of Brahman. And the gopis, according to their level of qualification, they're singing various songs and calling out. Bhaktivinod is residing at this time, when he composes, at Surabhi Kunj. And he says, seeing all this, darshan of this aarti, he is enjoying the bliss of pure love of God. That's a lot different from skulls and blood and all this kind of thing, isn't it? That's, whew. Hare Krishna. So I've been making some notes on Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita as and when they occur in my mind, and I'll read some about Gadadhara Pandit, who is Radha, who gave herself to Krishna. Krishna wanted to take the feelings of Radha Bhavati, but she has to give permission, not that she'll refuse it. Yeah, I'll just read in the order I have it here, and it's not exactly in any particular order. In standard depictions of the Panchatattva, Nityananda stands directly to the right of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He's the right-hand man. He's there for the preaching and all kinds of things. He's his right-hand man for fulfilling Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's desire for widespread preaching. Gadadhara, his Shakti, Radha, is like a good wife. Here in South India, the wives stand on the right side, but in Bengali culture, they stand on the left side. So, like a good wife, she stands on Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's left. Both Nityananda and Gadadhara have intrinsic roles to play in Gaura Leela, and both are dearer to Gaura than his own life. Nityananda serves what is called the Bahyakaran, the external purpose for Gaura Vibhav. We shouldn't, that preaching and spreading the Sankirtan movement is called the external reason, but we shouldn't think it's something minimal or unimportant. It means Gaura's interaction with the external world. It doesn't mean that it's external to his existence, or that it's secondary. Well, sometimes it's said like that. So Gadadhara serves the internal purpose for his appearance, which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally, Radha Bhava, he's experiencing the Bhava of Radha, and Gadadhara, who understands that role very, very well, being Radha herself, she serves him and helps him in that. The personalities of Nityananda and Balaram Nityananda, Balaram and Gadadhara, Radha, in Vrajalila they don't interact with each other due to social distance. The Balaram maintained the wife of the younger brother maintains a respectful distance from the husband's older brother. But here they're males and they can mix, and it's described in Chaitanya Bhagavat that Nityananda, Gauranga and Gadadhara in Puri, they would be together much of the time and go to the temple of Jagannath together. But nevertheless, the personalities of Nityananda and Gadadhara are very, very different. But their functions in serving Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his pastimes, they're intimately connected. Without Nityananda's mercy, no one can attain Vraja Prema. Nitaya Karuna Hobe Braje Radha Krishna Pabe. Yet it is Radha's compassion that makes possible the flow of prema in the world. Just as the internal and external reasons for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance are intertwined and complementary, so are the functions of Nityananda and Gadadhara, although to the uninformed they might seem unrelated and intrinsically different. In Sanskrit, the term Shakti, which is translated generally as energy or potency, is specifically feminine. And the Shakti is inseparable from the male Shaktiman, the possessor of energy. Shakti is also known as Prakriti, nature, a female term, and Shaktiman as Purusha, predominator, a male term. The devotees who in Vrajalila served Krishna in Madhurya Rati were all females. The only male in Madhurya Bhav is Krishna. Those females in Madhurya Rati all appear as males in Gaura Leela, with the possibly some exceptions. Thus Radha is Gadadhara, Lalita is Swarup Damodar, Satyabhama is Jagadananda, and so on. Among the Manjaris, Rupa Manjari is Rupa Goswami, Rati Manjari is Sanatana Goswami, and so on. Even in their male forms in Gaura Leela, these personalities do not forget the mellows of Vrindavan, but they assist Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in relishing these mellows in a somewhat removed manner, while largely retaining their formal female nature. Thus Gadadhara and others are fully subservient to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, almost in the mood of wives. They are very soft-hearted and cry and even faint very easily. Like chaste wives, they are wholly devoted to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Their own happiness is wholly dependent upon his. Now we may say that Jagadananda was very hot-tempered. Yeah, but in a female way. And just like Satyabhama, although she could be angry with Krishna, she's absolutely dedicated to Krishna. There's never in any question. So same thing with Jagadananda. Anyway, today we're talking about Gaura, Bhaktivinoda Thakur worshipping Gaura Gadadhara, seeing Gaura as Krishna and Gadadhara as Radha. I have a quote here, but I didn't put the reference. I believe it's from Gaura Garnodesha Deepika. Gadadhara, the best of the Brahmanas, is the incarnation of both Srimati Radharani and Lalita Gopi. These two are the transcendental potencies of the Lord, and since the Lord is in one sense not different from his potencies, it may be said that he is present wherever his potencies go. For this reason it may be said that Lord Hari is also present in the body of Gadadhara Pandit. Gadadhara is therefore the incarnation of three persons, Shrimati Radharani, Lalita Gopi, and Lord Hari. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nahayana. He is Radha and Krishna combined, but Radha wanted to come separately also, and she had to come in a male form because she can't associate with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the pastimes after he leaves his family life. This is the time when he's most that's the time when his feelings, the Radha Bhava, that manifests fully, which he couldn't manifest so much in Navadvip. And he has his Shaktis there in Navadvip, Lakshmi Priya and Vishnu Priya. He has them suitable for his pastimes there. But Gadadhara, who was with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu since very childhood, Priya Gadadhara, Gadadhara from very childhood was with Nimai in Navadvip, just waiting for him to stop all his nonsense, pretending to be a scholar and all this kind of thing, and just waiting for him to manifest himself as the great devotee. After the touch, the association, or the surrendering to Ishvara Puri in Gaya. In Krishna Leela, Radha cannot freely associate with Krishna. It's very difficult for her to do, only secretly and only at certain times. But so she comes in Gaur Leela as Gadadhara because there's no restriction on his mixing. It's impossible for her in Vraja Leela. As a Brahmana boy especially, because Nimai, Brahmin family, there's no restrictions on Gadadhara remaining constantly with Nimai Pandit, which especially in their childhood, Gadadhara was always with Nimai. Even if from other castes, boys, they would have some restriction due to social conventions. But there was no restriction on Gadadhara entering the home of Jagannath Mishra, taking meals with him. Even among Brahmins, there are various levels and restrictions, and it's not our kind of Brahmana. Generally, every Brahmana family thinks that their family is the topmost and everyone else they're lower. But they were both Mishras. So, both Mishras from East Bengal. So Gadadhara, not only could he associate with Nimai Pandit, but he was directly ordered to by Shachi Mata to always remain with Nimai. Because Nimai, he was, actually even before he went to Gaya, he had fits of Krishna consciousness. And sometimes he would behave in a manner which gave great consternation to Shachi Mata. That one time he was calling Krishna, Krishna, where is Krishna, where is Krishna? And Gadadhara says, in your heart. And then Nimai tried to pierce apart, rip apart his skin to get to his heart. And Gadadhara said, don't worry, calm down. Krishna, he's coming soon. Don't worry. So Sachimata, seeing this, she thought, oh, this is a very intelligent boy, and he understands the mood of my boy very well. So she ordered him always stay with Nimai. So she couldn't in Radha in Vraja Leela, due to fear of her elders, could not freely approach Krishna. But here in Gaur Leela, the only fear is if he's caught not with Gaura. It's just the opposite. She's ordered by the elder. He's ordered by the elder to always stay with Gaura. Gadadhara, he very happily joined Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Puri, but he was very intelligent and thought that, well, sometimes Gaura is going to send devotees away to Bengal, sending messages to the devotees, or maybe he'll send them to Vrindavan for some work or some business. So Gadadhara very intelligently took Kshetra Sannyas, so he could never be separated from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He thought Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Sachimata he would stay in Puri. He's in Puri, I'm going to stay in Puri too. However, didn't work. Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, one day he was walking on the beach and just found in the beach in Puri and found a beautiful deity who he named Gopinath, and told Gadadhara, okay, you worship him here on the beach. So he's called Tota Gopinath, Tota on the beach. So you stay here and worship him on the beach, which means that Gadadhara had to stay there, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's residence is at the Gambhira. Some distance, so distance is one factor. Another factor is that he was busy a lot of the time in deity worship, so he couldn't associate with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as freely as he wanted to, although Mahaprabhu would daily go for darshan of Gopinath, because he didn't like to be away from Gadadhara. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also had a reason for keeping Gadadhara at some distance, because he knew that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in his separation from Krishna, he sometimes exhibited pastimes which were so intense that we don't even like to hear about it now. How he would rub his face against the wall and all blood would come. We don't like to hear about it now, and we're just something in the name of devotion. But Gadadhara, how could he tolerate this? How could he tolerate so much pain that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is inflicting on himself? But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he didn't want to deprive, he wanted to know what it's all about. He didn't want to be half Radha or 90% Radha. He wanted to be fully Radha, and to do that he had to feel the pain. And Gadadhara wouldn't allow. She also came, I'll come to that later. I'm just coming to that. Just the point that the separation, Gadadhara, he thought that anyway I'll be with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu all my life, but then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went outside Puri on various tours. Sometimes he would go to Alalanath also, especially at the time of the Anasvara, when Jagannath is sick just before Rath Yatra. So Gadadhara couldn't go at that time either. So this Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is feeling full emotions, feelings of ecstasy and Krishna consciousness. And when he can do so, when he's not restrained by some social situation or whatever, what does he do? He dances. He dances in ecstasy. As he explained to Ishvara Puri, it's not that he dances out of... It says in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, one should dance. Oh, okay, I'll dance. It's not like that. It's automatic. He dances. And then he collapses. When his ecstasy just completely overwhelms him, then he collapses. And therefore, Radha, after allowing Krishna to take her being, to take her personality, to take her feelings, after merging with his identity, she again manifested as Gadadhara, because she knows that women can take more pain than men. So we're told. We don't know, but we're told that the pain of child giving birth is so painful. Women can tolerate that. No man could tolerate such a pain. So she was doubtful if Krishna, taking her feelings, could actually tolerate or sustain that pain. And she was afraid, what will happen to him? She was ready to give herself fully to Krishna, but she needed to remain separate to protect him also. So she came as Gadadhara to protect him from himself as best she could in his madness of love of Krishna. In Puri, daily Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would hear Bhagavatam from Gadadhara, but mostly it's said that particularly he would hear the narrations of Prahlad and Dhruva. What would have happened if he'd have read if Gadadhara had read the Gopi Geet, or even worse, the Brahmara Geet? Krishna doesn't hear that. Uddhava can hear that. Uddhava can go back and tell Krishna. But Krishna cannot hear that. They wouldn't have been able to maintain themselves as Gaura and Gadadhara. They would become Gauri and Gadadhara, because Gadadhara is a name for Krishna, not Krishna in Vrindavan, but they would become Radha and Krishna. And then the whole Leela would get blown up. And so Yoga Maya has a hard job organizing. Well, but it's in Vrindavan, she organized. In Gaur Leela, it's much more complex, because you're dealing with all these double identities, and you want to give full ecstasy, but you have to be careful, because if you're not careful, then the whole universe will just explode. When Gauranga couldn't maintain his feelings anymore, he ran to Gadadhara and entered into his deity of Gopinath. That was it. And Gaur Leela just all of a sudden finished. It's stated that after Advaita Acharya sent the Praheli, a saying or some riddle, that the rice is not selling in the market. Everyone has got enough rice now. That Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, after that, his emotions day by day became more and more and more and more intense. This went on for years. And then when it was just unsustainable, then he ran to Gadadhara and entered his deity of Gopinath, and then the whole world was plunged in pain. One pastime of Gadadhara with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because Gadadhara accepted Kshetra Sannyas, And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was going to Vrindavan. And he thought, what's the use of this Kshetra Sannyas? I took Kshetra Sannyas not to remain in Puri, but to remain with Gauranga. And now Gauranga is going, so what the hell with this Kshetra? Just forget it. But Gauranga wouldn't have anything of it, and he forbade him to come. Wouldn't allow it. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, if you come with me, I will be blamed for breaking your vow. So Gadadhara tries to be tricky. He said, no, I'm not going to be with you. I'm just going to go and to see Sachi Mata, which everyone knew was bogus. It wasn't very convincing. How could anyone? What's Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? He's the all-knowing personality of Godhead. He knows everything. I mean, you couldn't trick even a child. It's pretty bad, pretty poor attempt. He was just trying to say something, some reason or other. He couldn't find anything else to say. So he said, I'm going to... And then Gadadhara tried to say that the real function of all vows is to be at your all the vows that are there, such as taking Kshetra Sannyas, remaining in one place only. They're all meant to bring one to the point of your coming to your lotus feet. So if I go following your lotus feet, what is the harm there? Now that seemed like a pretty good argument, but then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave an even stronger argument, that more important than being with him, more important than Gadadhara being with Gaura, is that Gadadhara should act for his Gauranga satisfaction. So what happened? Why is Gaura sending Gadadhara away? Gaura's love for Gadadhara is as much as Gadadhara's for him. How much is it? 1 lump, 2 lumps? It's immeasurable. It's infinity gone wild on both sides. Inconceivable. How can we think of infinity? Billions, trillions, zillions, quadzillions, and how many? We can't imagine. It's beyond our imagination. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is also acting as an acharya, and sometimes for the benefit of the world he had to enforce principles to set an example for common people and for devotees not yet on the highest level, as with Chota Haridas, his dear devotee. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had to set the highest standard, otherwise it would... In the name of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, people would embrace all kinds of improper behavior which would spoil their prospects of becoming Krishna conscious. In other words, unless Chaitanya Mahaprabhu established proper standards of proper behavior in devotional service, then the gift that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to give, which is atanta durlabha prema, extremely rare love of God, that could not be affected. It could not be delivered. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had to do that. If in the name of love, now in Krishna Leela, in the name of love you can break all the rules. You're already there. You don't need to follow the rules anymore. You're already there. Of course there are... Well, are there rules of love? No, there aren't. Love knows no... What is it? Love knows no rules, something like that. But if in the name of love Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had allowed Gadadhara to break his solemn vows, neophyte devotees and common people would have cited this as evidence for them to transgress codes that at their level they need to adhere to. How could Chaitanya Mahaprabhu be so strong? He's Radha, so Radha How can she be so strong? Even sometimes her intimate friends, Lalita Vishaka, say, how can you be so strong and send Krishna away? And he's begging and he's saying, I never want to see you again. And she means it too at that time. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has become Radha, and Gadadhara himself doesn't have that man, that mood of haughty anger. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, she's doing to Radha what Krishna used to get from Radha. But eventually Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when Balabhadra Bhattacharya said, there's too much here in Vrindavan and there's so many invitations, I'm going nuts, let's go to Prayag for Magha Mela. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, yeah, okay, let's go. As if Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is in Vrindavan, what's he got to do with Magha Mela? It's ridiculous. But anyway, when he eventually came back to Puri, he said, I had to come because Gadadhara I couldn't leave Gadadhara lamenting like that. So he was actually captured by Gadadhara's love, and he couldn't. As Gadadhara said, wherever you are, that is Vrindavan. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he went to Vrindavan, and his ecstasy increased and increased and increased and increased when he was in Vrindavan. But he had to come back because of Gadadhara. So we can just imagine what is Gadadhara's love and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's love for him, for Gadadhara. Mahaprabhu, he ordered some devotees to go to Vrindavan, and Jagadananda Pandit was granted permission when he asked, but with some restrictions. But Gadadhara Pandit, who is Radha, the queen of Vrindavan, even though almost mad to accompany Mahaprabhu to Vrindavan, was flatly denied. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave no opportunity to Gadadhara to make any further arguments. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's decision was final and irrevocable. Gadadhara was intransigent. No, I'm going to go, I must go. But then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was also intransigent, and Gadadhara was defeated in that way. They both wanted to have their own way, but ultimately Gadadhara had to submit to his master. Gadadhara's abandonment of his kshetra sannyas was motivated by pure love. Yet previously, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had personally arranged for his devotees to override rules pertaining to a holy place and had led his devotees in doing so. That particularly when the devotees came from Bengal, Prataparudra Maharaj saw them from the upper part of his residence in Puri, and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya said, this is this devotee, this is that devotee, this is Advaita, this is Nityananda. They pointed out the devotees when they first came, and Prataparudra was there to see them. And Prataparudra was surprised. How is it they're entering a holy place and they're arranging for prasadam distribution, and they're not fasting, and they're not shaving their heads, which is required when you come to a holy place. And Sarvabhauma explained, this is on the Raga Marg, this is the platform of pure love. So, and Sarvabhauma said there are subtle intricacies involved in the execution of religious principles on the Raga Marg. Raga is Sukhamarma. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he approved of that. He arranged for them to all get prasad, for them to break the rules of being in a holy place. But on this occasion, he insisted that Gadadhara act according to the rules of Vidhi Dharma, the rules and regulations, rather than accepting the considerations of Raga Marga. Why exactly? If you dare, you can ask Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Who would dare to ask him in such a situation when he's so firm and strong, and the dealings between himself and his very intimate devotee? It's a very secret kind of affair. We can speculate that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to increase even more the attachment of Gadadhara Pandit for himself, and to increase his own attachment by forcible separation. This upholds the sthane sthita principle that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught. By sending Gadadhara back, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructed all generations of devotees that duties and responsibilities in Krishna's service are not to be abandoned in the name of higher bliss. He also demonstrated that being in the direct association of the Guru or even of the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself is not as important as serving the order of Guru and of God. By this, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu further taught devotees to maintain the faith that the service given by one's Guru will gradually bring one to the highest perfection, which is not to be attained by attempting to forcibly impose oneself on the higher sphere. Gadadhara could have continued with his idea to follow Chaitanya Mahaprabhu a little distance. He'd been following a little distance. First, when he started to go, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "No, don't come with me." And then he followed at a little distance. He said, no, I'm just walking on the road. I'm not following you. It's obvious. Yeah, he could have continued to do so, but it wasn't within his capacity to repeatedly deny Prabhu's stern orders. And especially when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu got on the boat and went away, then it would have not been very easy for Gadadhara to arrange another boat right on the spot. And where exactly did Mahaprabhu go, and to follow him would have been very different. He was as good as lost to Gadadhara. As soon as Gadadhara got the news of Prabhu's intended trip to Vrindavan, Gadadhara was worried that no, I'm going to be separated from him. He did what he thought was right, and so many other devotees followed Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They started following him on the path of Vrindavan. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu eventually sent them all back. But when Gadadhara followed, he couldn't imagine that Mahaprabhu would send him back on the grounds of kshetra sannyas. What's this kshetra sannyas? He couldn't. There's nothing in comparison with having Mahaprabhu's direct association. And Gadadhara thought, he couldn't imagine that Mahaprabhu would send him back. Just like the gopis, when they were called by Krishna in the forest at night, and then Krishna said, you go back. They couldn't imagine. They'd risked everything to come, hearing his flute, and then Krishna said, then you go back. And they didn't go back. Not then, only at the end of the night. Long night. But then after, he had to come back to Puri, and then he had to live. He had to go on, day after day, moment after moment. Each moment seeming like 12 years or more. They seeming like a yuga, thousands of years. He had to live with that. There's nothing he could do. And when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu got in a boat to leave, Gadadhara just fell down like a tree being chopped down. It's just too much. He couldn't. Gaur is leaving. How can he live without me? How can I live without him? And just, it was too much. He just fell down. Then Bhattacharya, Sarvabhauma, he consoled Gadadhara that actually Mahaprabhu was very pleased with your love, but he was so strict with him. Why was Gaura so strict? Sarvabhauma explained that just as Krishna upheld Bhishma's vow, breaking his own vow, So in the same way, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to uphold Gadadhara's vow, even at the expense of suffering himself in separation from Gadadhara. Bhakti Ratnaka describes, Gadadhara could not tolerate separation from Gauranga. He always swam in the ocean of bliss, gazing at Gauranga. When, accompanied by his dear associates, Sri Gaurasundar returned from Vrindavan, Gadadhara Pandit Goswami gazed at the Lord's face and at once fell unconscious, overcome with the ecstasy of spiritual love. From Dhyana Chandra's Gaur Govindachana Smaran Padati, meditation on Gadadhara, he's stated, I meditate on Sri Gadadhara Pandit Goswami, whose lotus feet are full of the nectar of compassion. He has a luster like that of Sri Chaitanya Chandra. With his outstretched right hands, he offers tambul to the mouth of Sri Chaitanya. He dresses in fine white cloth, is the best of the sadhus, and is the very form of blissful love. He has a sweet, smiling face, and his eyes are addicted to gazing at the form of Sri Gaura. He is adorned with the mood of Madhurya Rasa, and is the best of the twice born. Sri Gadadhara Pandit Goswami ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhaviraja. Patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha.
Holiness Bhakti Vikasa Swami Maharaj ki